Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. Can you hear me smiling? I'm over the moon, very happy. I did my new 1-hour special at the Mothership 2 nights ago here in Austin, and you know, I tell you, I prepped so hard for this. I went on the road, like I taped it first back in March, and then there was some technical problems, so we had to flush it. I had to start all over again. And I think I got really nervous that something was going to fuck up again, but I hired this amazing production company, 800-pound gorilla. Shout out to Matt Schuler, Shane Guerra, Jared, Clement. They did an amazing job. They brought in 7 cameras, big lighting packages, and they set it up right. Of course, it's at one of the greatest comedy rooms in the country. Great crowds, and I just felt ready. I fucking prepped that day. I worked out. I did yoga. I meditated. Somebody taught me these voice exercise a while. I did everything. I did it all. I drank throat coat, talked to my wife, and then shut my phone off so I wouldn't get any disturbing phone calls or texts all day. I was in the zone. And I did the first show, and I walked out. And first of all, they tell the audience not to get up before the show, during my set. So they took a break between the feature and me for 5 minutes to let people get up, go to the bathroom. And so then they go, all right, everybody be seated. They announce me. I walk up on stage. Some 6'3" fucking Texas galoot comes walking through, not even bent over, not even doing the prerequisite helicopter walk like you're on MASH. Just walk straight. So I just go, all right, sorry, we got to start over again. So meanwhile, I had walked on to a huge ovation. Everybody was excited. They've been waiting for the special. I leave. They reintroduce me. I walk back on. I do the same opening joke. A fucking chick walks through, right through the middle of the room to her seat. Now you would think, so I get off stage again. Now you would think, okay, now we got it. Nope. A third time. So I don't know what the fuck was going on. But anyway, it actually relaxed me because it was so funny that it just turned into something the audience was in on. And so when I finally started, I was completely relaxed. No, I shouldn't say that. I was still nervous, but I was way better than when I walked on the first time. So anyway, it was good. Adam Egett did my intro. He's one of my dear friends who lives out here and books the Comedy Mothership. Used to book the Comedy Store forever. Mitch Burrow and Johnny Heft opened up, did an amazing job. And now Ron White came out and sat out in the audience with his girlfriend and watched me. Gave me a big hug afterwards. It was very nice. It's a very supportive comedy environment out here. And so, I don't know what to say. I really feel like I've been in the comedy business for 33 years, and I don't stop getting nervous. I don't stop caring very deeply that what I do is good. I really have gotten to where after 33 years, I got fried and the pandemic happened, and I feel like I lost a step. It was the first time I hadn't been on stage in longer than 3 weeks in 33 years. And it kind of fucked me up. It took me a minute to get my legs back. And I really thought about maybe I should just get another career at this point, just working job to job to job. And most people change careers, 3, 4, 5 times in their life. I do it every fucking week, and my agent has to hunt down a new job for me, and I kind of fried out on it. And then I was thinking about it, and then I kind of went, you know what? Let me give this one last shot. Let me get geared up for one more special, just to see if my heart's still in it. And this was everything that I asked for. This made me feel 100 times over that this is what I was meant to do, that I'm so lucky that I found it. And and it made me feel like it's the best stand-up I've ever done. I felt strong. If the jokes felt tight, I felt like I was more in my voice than I've ever been. So anyway, thank you everybody who supported. There's not going to be a long intro for the podcast because I'm so burnt out. I haven't done anything for the last day and a half. But I will say that if you do want to come and see me, the new material's coming out now, coming to San Francisco to the Punchline November 30th through December 2nd, and then Fort Worth at Hyenas December 15 and 16. Also coming to Milwaukee New Year's Eve for 3 nights. Den Theater in Chicago, Atlanta, Portland, La Jolla, Tampa. Go to Fitzdog.com. Come on out. Check out the new shit. We're ready. We're ready to hit the next phase of this great adventure. Also want to talk to you about if you're going to go see other live events like sporting events, plays, comedy, music, anything. You go to Game Time. You get their app. And let me tell you something. It's the fast, easy way to get tickets. Last-minute deals, all-in prices. You can get a view from your seat of what the place looks like, and they got a best price guarantee. Take the guesswork out. You can... The app's amazing. Couple taps and you've got it in your phone. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to transfer or print. It's really simple. It shows you what's playing in your area locally at the time. I have not looked. I usually look before I tape the podcast, but let's just guess that there's a lot of great shit out there and you can see it cheaper. And a lot of times you jump on tickets too early, thinking the prices will go up. Well, Game Time basically says, no, tickets are going to go down, and you're going to cash in on it when they do go down, and you're going to do it fast and easy on the app, and you're going to stop wasting your life. Don't spend your money on stupid shit like an outfit you're going to wear once. Spend money on an experience. Go out. Spoil yourself. Spoil the person you love, and go see. The experiences are worth way more than things in this world. Yes, I said thangs. That's how I say it. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Fitzdog for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code FITZDOG for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. My guest is a repeat guest. I had him on just last year, but he was so amazing, and he lives in Austin, so I wanted to get a chance to get him on the show again. He also just taped a 1-hour special in the same theater at the Mothership with the same production company, so he was nice enough to give me some advice about it, and which helped me out a lot. He's a guy he was an ex-Marine, interesting life, was a foster kid, and he's just a killer comic. He's a fucking inside linebacker. He's just strong and so funny. He did that the stand-ups, that Netflix series where he did a shorter set, but now this is his new 1-hour special that's coming out soon on Netflix. He's got a podcast called BS with Brian Simpson. And here's my chat with the lovely and talented Brian Simpson. Sitting in the green room of the Mothership, Austin, Texas.
The Comedy Mothership.
Comedy Mothership. Brian Simpson is my guest. He's a guy who is probably on these stages as much as just about anybody.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I do about probably minimum 10 spots a week here.
No.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I usually do because I do two bottom of the barrels, and then both of Joe's shows on Tuesdays. So
yeah,
all 4 shows on Tuesdays, and then two of Joe's shows on Wednesday, plus Solid on Wednesday, and the little boy.
So you can make a living just staying here, basically.
I mean, I could.
I
could if I really budgeted.
If you were Brian Holtzman.
yeah, you could make a pretty decent living if you get past here.
Dude, I got to tell you, all those years at the Comedy Store, I always like had kids, so I would come in, I do my spot, I leave, I go home. And I'd always heard about Brian Holtzman. I'd always heard the legend of Brian Holtzman going on last at the Comedy Store every night.
Yeah, he's something else, man.
I just saw him here this week. I sit every time he's on. I sit in the back of the room. The first time I saw him, I convulsed. I had tears rolling down my face.
Yeah, because he is. How do I put it, man? I've never met anyone that was so different on stage than they are.
That's what I was gonna say. Exactly.
Because off stage he's the most like thoughtful,
sweet,
and just soft spoken guy. And then on stage he's just a fucking maniac.
Oh my God, he's so polite off stage.
Yeah, very. But on stage he's all about the joke. He don't give a fuck what. How you feel about it.
Yeah.
None of that. But that's why he has to go last.
He's got to go last. I saw him go in the middle of the lineup the other night, and it wasn't good.
Yeah. He definitely can't go first.
He's doing a thing about Matthew Perry dying and saying he was a drunk and I could never be one of the friends. Hey, Monica, come here and suck my dick. So that's a great thing about Mothership. It's fostering a lot of voices that are probably not going to work out in other clubs as much, and so it's got a voice. This club has a voice.
Yeah, it's kind of like the store's kind of like that, where it's like the freaks are welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need these few weirdos around.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because otherwise, because I honestly I think the death sentence for any comic or any club or anything comedy related is like when you start taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
When you start being too. I mean, it's comedy. It's not Harvard.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so I like the fact that like in the most exclusive club in the world, you could somehow, Boone Shakalaka or Brian Holtzman or Robert Apatow, like they still were, could walk through the door marked private and be in all the areas,
Right.
I like that.
No, when the store was like that with Brody Stevens and Rick Ingram, and they just get stronger and stronger and stronger, and it makes the other comics stronger because it reminds you that there's no parameters on stand-up.
There's no rules.
There's no rules. It is literally, it's a piece of stage that you stand on for 20 minutes or 15 minutes, and you can literally, you want to juggle, you want to play guitar, you want to do fucking gymnastics.
Right.
No, as long as at the end of it, you've proven that you have a voice and you're different and you're funny, then you're going to come back.
Yeah.
And yet so few people take advantage of that.
Well, that's the thing, man. Every rule I've ever seen, every time I've heard, you can't joke about that, I've seen someone do it successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's almost like a challenge to come.
Right,
you don't think I could joke about that?
Yeah.
I can't get a laugh out of that.
I know.
And I've seen it happen. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've seen 40 comics fail.
Yep.
But as soon as you go, you can't say that. You can't joke about that. Everyone tries it, and most of them fail, and then 2 or 3 people go, they fucking did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone do the Israeli-Palestine topic yet?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I put it out too, and
No shit.
I did. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I mean, basically the bit is like, it's hard to know who is telling the truth because everyone sounds so passionate. Now, obviously, that's why I put it out, because this was like when it first started off, and I was like, both sides are like, it's women and children dying, it's women and children dying, and you kind of feel like, oh, well, I'm against that for sure,
Yeah.
And then so the punch is, how come no one cares when men die?
Yeah, right.
They never mention the men dying in any other thing, and so and then my favorite part, the tag, I go, if Hamas had bombed a men's rights protest instead of a rave, CNN would have just been like, it's 70 degrees and sunny, and
we're totally dispensable. We are just like the delivery system for sperm.
Yeah, we're the default deaths in every conflict. But what's funny is the reaction, because people, some people, maybe social media is hurting comedy to some degree, because it's accessible now to people that don't have a sense of humor, you know, and so to see people arguing in the comments of this joke as though it's a debate, like I'm making like that's what I really feel about it, you know. It's you, and it happens every single time, no matter, and even if it's not a controversial subject, people will argue about like the accuracy of the point.
It's the democratization of comedy.
Right.
Comedy was set up to be a singular voice that challenges the status quo. Right. Not something that you put out and then gets filtered down or censored or adjusted.
And you could be like you could post like, why did the chicken cross the road? You know, and some people were like, well, actually chickens are afraid to cross roads because they have. It's like, hey man, it's like that's not what the joke is, you know?
Right. Chickens are living in cages. They're not crossing roads.
Right. And it's I just ignore it now. It used to frustrate me.
That actually is a funny premise for a joke, though. That the chicken crossed the road is no longer relevant because they're all stuffed in fucking cages. The only time when he crosses the road is when he finds an opening in that cage and he runs for his fucking life.
It is wild to me how for them to have to now like label food based on how the animal lived and because I didn't know. You know what it is? It's almost like when I don't know if you remember, but it was around like 2004 or 2003. But McDonald's came out with the chicken selects. Remember that?
No.
Which basically chicken strips.
Okay.
They came out with the chicken selects. Before that, all they had was
McNuggets.
McNuggets, right? And the big tagline was like 100% all meat. You know, 100% all white meat chicken. 100% chicken.
Yeah.
And right away I was like, well, wait a minute, then what the fuck were McNuggets, right? Like, and it's kind of the same thing. It's like I didn't know that the chickens were in cages till they started telling me they weren't.
Yeah.
No, these chickens were cage free.
Right.
And it's like, well, then what the fuck happened to the mother chickens?
Yeah. Right. You
know, and I don't. You know.
Well, it's funny because like, you know, if we really cared about animals, we would go visit them and we'd hang out with them. Like, there's a reason why I live in a city. I don't want to see that shit. No. I don't want to smell cow. You ever drive in the Midwest and you smell the cow? What do they call it?
Farmers are the one group that I'm like, give them whatever the fuck they need.
Yeah,
like, what are we talking about? Most of us don't have a stomach for that.
Right.
No, fuck no.
Yeah.
This is in my new hour. I'm working on this bit about how like living well in America is all about knowing how many steps away from the atrocity you have to be to not feel guilty. You know, and it's like it really is that. It's like I need the store and the farmer to take responsibility for whatever the fuck is happening to those animals.
Right.
So I can enjoy. Like I remember, I just went to Canada recently. I remember I went to KFC. Now, you know, I've gone to KFC a million times. Right. Never in Canada. I go to KFC, and the chicken, it was so tiny. It was so tiny that it just immediately made me wonder, like, because I took it back up to the counter.
You mean the animal or the serving?
The food. No, like the literal pieces of chicken were probably a third of the size of what you get here. Yeah. I thought there was something wrong with it. I took it back up to the counter. I was like, excuse me, can I get like the not sickly chicken, please? Yeah. And they were like, that's just chicken. And that's when it hit me like, oh, like our government doesn't give a fuck about us. Whatever they're giving out, like that is a regular chicken.
Yeah.
Whatever they're giving our chickens
We're pumping them up.
Yeah, it's like it's illegal in all the other developed world.
If there was an Olympics for chickens, like U.S. would be disqualified in the first round. Yeah. Our chickens go to Gold's Gym.
Yeah. And see, that's why all the rich people I know have their own chickens.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, they get their own eggs from their own chickens.
Chickens that are living a life.
Yeah, free.
Yep.
Wind in their hair.
Looking at the sky, dreaming.
But there's a price for that.
Yeah.
You know, because every now and then something will kill one of your chickens.
You know? My father-in-law had chickens. He lived in Woodstock, New York, and he had a farm with chickens and the weevils.
Oh, weasels, yeah.
The weasels used to get in there. And the thing about weasels is some animals kill to eat. They killed every fucking, there was 19 chickens And this weasel killed every fucking one of them.
And didn't eat any of them?
I mean, I'm sure he had a bite here and there, but like he was it was genocide in there.
Fuck, little
Genocide.
samurais. Yeah, man, so if you want your animal to live free out of the cage,
Yeah.
they living that life out there. They samurai.
It is funny when you think about like how animals are wild, and we have them either on leashes or in cages or stuck in a fucking box. Like we have perverted the whole cycle of nature. It's just us.
Yeah, and we bred them. We bred them to be smaller and cuter, and
Yeah, right.
yeah. Now they're trying to breed like little mini pit bulls and little mini.
Are they really?
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna get out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, we just keep getting bigger. The animals
we
get
do?
smaller, and we just keep getting bigger.
Yeah, then we got to pump them up with steroids. See, that's what I'm saying. What's the point in shrinking the animals if you're just gonna pump them up with steroids?
Right. What's have you ever killed anything? You ever hunted?
No, I've never killed it. No.
Wow.
No, in fact, I don't know if I have the stomach, man. I'd like to think I could. Yeah, like to hear Rogan talk about it, the rush.
Yeah.
That it just seems.
I like that he shoots with an arrow though instead of a gun. A gun really feels like it's cheating. It's just too easy, especially the like AR-15s or some kind of semi-automatic weapon. That's just too easy.
Oh yeah, and bro, but honestly, like all this aero technology and shit. I mean, you might as well have a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, these arrows, a lot of they got all kind of shit where like you can track the arrow and they like I put it like this. There's Elon Musk just did an episode with Rogan, and Joe goes out and shoots the Cybertruck with one of the arrows.
Oh,
right?
no
As
shit.
As if to show like it can take it, right?
Uh-huh.
And people in the comment that don't shoot arrows were like, well, of course it can bounce off an arrow. Like an arrow would bounce off of any car, and it's like no and people in the comment that know about arrows were like, no, the fuck it won't.
Yeah.
Like an arrow could go through a Camry.
Yeah.
Like that kind of arrow will go through most cars.
So this truck is made to be like
Arrow proof.
Well,
I think
bulletproof.
It's supposed to be bulletproof. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
So it's like a survival truck.
I don't know what the fuck it is because it's not out yet. I mean, no one has one, but it's supposed to be it's supposed to be bulletproof. But it famously, when they first revealed it, he went to go throw something at the window and it just shattered. So they haven't redone that test. I would like to see them do that again before.
I got to tell you something. There's a lot of hype about Elon Musk. He's kind of dumb also. I know that's sacrilege to sit in the mothership and say Elon Musk. He's a brilliant guy, but he also makes some stupid mistakes sometimes.
Well, we know this for sure from being around comedians is that, being brilliant at one thing doesn't mean you're not a complete fucking idiot at other things, right? And every person we see that's brilliant at something thinks they could be brilliant at something else.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, and so I think that whatever department his genius is in, he's convinced, and a lot of other people are convinced that he's a genius in all areas.
Right.
Because everyone's looking for a daddy. Everyone's looking for someone to do the thinking for them.
Yeah.
And so they can't wait for someone to go, that's the guy that I'm going to listen to everything he says.
Yeah, I remember reading a quote on TikTok the other day from Steve Jobs about balance in life and how raising your kids is the most important thing. He denied the existence of his daughter.
For real. But he still paid for her life, right?
He paid for her, but Jesus Christ, the guy had how many billions of dollars he could pay for her. How about spending some fucking time with her, And now you're going to tell me how to raise kids just because you made a computer. He didn't even make the fucking computer. He marketed the computer that Wozniak made.
Right, exactly.
Wozniak, yeah.
But he's a genius, they say.
Oh, he's a genius, but
he's
a lot of geniuses are marketing. And Elon is the same way. Elon, can program, and he's very good at it, but he did not develop a lot of the technology. He knows how to oversee it. He gets it. He understands how to connect people. He understands how to take a big idea and streamline it to where people can understand it. But he's not the guy that's like figuring out how the nodes and the modules work.
Right. I mean, well, he's also the guy that thinks he can win a jiu-jitsu match without training because he's big. When it's like that's the whole point of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That you can beat a big motherfucker that don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Right?
Well, it's also because he's South African, and those fucking those Afrikaners, man, they're very full of themselves. There's a lot of machismo over there.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like just like their comedy. They're like 30 years behind.
Exactly.
Our whites over here 30 years ago realized that, like, maybe we ain't gonna be, maybe we're not gonna run the NBA.
Yeah.
Maybe we just fall back and own stuff.
Right.
But over there, they still in that, like, we're superior.
Yes.
That they fresh off the apartheid shit.
Dude, it only ended in like 89 or something.
Right.
I mean, shit.
So, yeah.
Isn't that staggering when you think about that system existed until maybe 87. It was somewhere around there, but I mean, that's fucking, not that it doesn't exist in other countries, but South Africa's a big fucking country.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. And it's still this, like, that's the thing, is like when shit like that is over, it's not over.
Yeah.
Because you can't just unlearn, like, people don't just change their ethic because the government said, you know what I mean? It's just like when they signed the Civil Rights Act, it's not like everyone was like, all right, we're done with all this racist stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't just go away because the government decided.
No, I mean, when slavery ended and Reconstruction started, like, some black people were getting treated even worse.
Oh, yeah.
They were being fucking lynched.
Yeah, because now you gotta pay bills with no experience.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
But I've been to South Africa a couple times, and it's fucking beautiful, man. I could live there. It's like,
why'd you go there?
My wife's brother married a South African woman, so we went over to visit them a couple times. And, like, you go down to, like, Cape Town, and they have, like, some shit you walk through where they're like, I had my daughter walking with me. She was like 2, and he's like, pick her up. He's like, the baboons are gonna take that fucking kid.
Oh my
and
God!
I'll never see her again.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Because, oh man, can you imagine you out there fist fighting baboons?
Dude. Or it just disappears into the fucking jungle, and you're like, "What? We're gonna go up a tree?"
Yeah, and you definitely getting divorced after that.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't. Right. Yeah, if someone like because whoever the kid was closest to that didn't want to smoke with the baboon is gonna have to take the blame.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be someone's fault.
Right.
It's like Greg, you just let the baboon.
Yep.
You just let the baboon run off.
Right.
So what the fuck am I supposed to do?
And that's high stakes. My wife gets mad when I leave the garbage can in the alley after trash pickup and I don't bring it in and somebody else puts their garbage in it. But baboon taking the daughter?
See, I can see how that would be infuriating.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody else putting their garbage in my garbage can would infuriate me.
It happened to us, and I started tracking down. I called my neighbor, and I accused him because he's got ferns in his yard. And my garbage can was filled with fucking fern clippings. And I said, your gardener is putting shit in my can. And then I said, it just happened today. And then my neighbor goes, yeah, our gardener comes on Friday. It's Tuesday. And I was like, my bad.
Damn, so then where the fuck these clippings come from?
Well, there's like a community garden that's right behind our house. And I think maybe, the community gardeners have ran out of space to put all their shit, so they're sticking it in my can. But they got these trash trucks. I don't know if they have that in Austin, but they come by with like a little forklift. They pick the can up. They turn it over into the truck, and then it shakes the can, which has a lid on it.
Right.
And they put it down, and after 3 months, none of the cans have fucking lids because they've shaken them off the cans.
Oh, so they don't. Okay, so the cans are not built to withstand.
They should be.
Man. Yeah. That kind of pisses me off. You know what's weird with the garbage out here?
What?
They only come get the recycling every other week.
Oh.
Which is, because I live with 2 other grown men. And we have like a backlog of cardboard boxes and stuff. And twice I've already had to like pay for people to come pick up like bulk shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Well, you guys are getting a lot of Amazon packages, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, we all just started making money. We all just started making a lot of money. So, yeah.
You live with other comics?
Yeah, I live with other comics.
Who do you live with?
Asana Ahmad and Hans Kim.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's a fun house.
Yeah, but it's time to end it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I when I was moving out here from LA, I made the decision kind of quickly, and so they agreed to look for a place because I was like, let's get a place real quick so we can get situated. You know, so but it's nice though. It's nice to always have comics around.
Yeah. And both those guys are super respectful, laid back guys.
And we're always gone.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, very rarely are all three people there.
So you gonna buy a place?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm already looking for a place now.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna get a nice little spot.
Like a condo or a house?
Probably a house. I don't know about that condo shit.
House is a lot of work, dude.
I know that's the one downside is like just owning a house.
You got landscaping, you got a roof going out, you got a boiler going out.
I know. It's such a pain in the ass. And they say that it benefits you because the fucking power of ownership and shit. But
well, you can still own a condo.
Right. But then you still got to go up and down stairs. And have I mean, owning a condo is just apartment.
Yeah.
Problems with a mortgage.
What's the worst neighbor you ever had in an apartment?
My next door neighbor. So it was one of these houses that, like, this was in San Diego. They rented out the front of the house and then they added on to the back of the house and turned it into 4 apartments.
Okay.
And so there was like a tiny little backyard with a tree in it. And anyway, my neighbors were like downloading shit on my, like I let them use my Wi-Fi when they moved in. That's neighborly till you get your shit hooked up. And they were like downloading shit on my Wi-Fi. When I asked them about it, they were fucking lying. And then
like downloading like big files, like movies and shit.
Yeah. Like I was getting letters. This was back when they were trying to crack down on it, and I was getting letters like stop download. And then they tell you what the file is, you know. And that's how I caught them in a lie. They were like, you know, no, we not downloading shit. And then so a few weeks later, I was like, yeah, so what good shows are there right now? Like, oh my God, I love The Office. I'm like, really? Because that's exactly what the fuck they said you would download it, you know? And so, but then
could have been a lot more embarrassing for them. They're lucky it was The Office.
Oh yeah, but this girl, her boyfriend moved in, and I didn't notice till the day I moved out, but he kept stealing my bicycle.
No shit.
He kept stealing my bikes.
And then he bring it back?
No. He stole 3 bikes from me.
No shit.
Yeah. And at first I couldn't figure out who it was or why. But it was one of them situations where it was like they kept stealing it right at the perfect moment.
Yeah.
Whereas like I get home, I ride my bike home for something. I lean it against, instead of locking it up, I lean it in just to run upstairs and grab something, and I come back out and it's gone.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, wait a minute, because the backyard was like closed in.
Yeah, it's like a courtyard.
Right. So it was like whoever stole it, they had to have known exactly when I got home and exactly the exact moment. And so one time this happened, and I came home the same time as he did, and we both had done the same thing, just leaned our bike and ran upstairs. When I came out, my bike was gone, and his bike was still there, and his bike was way nicer than mine. And I was like, wait a minute, how the fuck? Why the fuck would somebody come and walk past your bike and steal my bike?
Yeah,
it was this motherfucker. How'd
you catch him?
I didn't catch him in the act, but when I was moving out, that's when this happened. When I was moving out, I was like, there's no way that this person could have known from the time I walked to the truck and back that was the window to steal the bike. Yeah, it had to be him. He was the only one there, and everybody else, and he was a shifty motherfucker. Right. He was a shiftless guy. Yeah,
that's the thing about neighbors. You're always going to have a shiftless one. There's always one shiftless neighbor.
But I don't know if that's the worst.
That's pretty bad. 3 bikes?
Yeah, but I feel like what makes somebody a bad neighbor is when they're doing things that affect you in your house.
Right.
And I don't know. I guess if I had time to think about it, I could probably name quite a few.
Right.
Because that's the thing, right? To be a good neighbor, you have to be a shitty neighbor first. A couple times, you got to learn.
Right.
Like you have to. It's almost like when you first hit your 20s and you don't realize that you're a shitty roommate.
Yeah.
And then when you hit by the time you're on your third or fourth time, and now you have a shitty roommate, and then you realize what you had been doing. Right? It's the same. It's the same thing with.
Or
the neighbor.
maybe somebody, and they're doing you a favor. I call people on shit. I'm a guy who has spent my entire life calling people on shit all the time, and I think I do it in a fair way. But I'm from New York. I speak my mind, you know?
Right.
And some people can't handle that, especially in L.A. People take it very personally if you criticize anything they do. I'm doing you a favor, man. I'm telling you in a gentle, caring, fair way that you're being an asshole. And you can hear that.
When's the last time this happened?
My neighbor, my next door neighbor.
The same guy you accused?
Yep.
Okay.
Same guy. He has, we have a fence. I live in Venice, and we have a fence, and then there's a sidewalk, and then there's a little median between the sidewalk and the street. Mm-hmm. So, there's palm trees, and then people do different things in front of their houses. Some people have grass. Some people have potted plants. So we put down just some flagstone, and you know what decomposed granite is?
No.
It's a very fine sand, but it looks almost like soil. But it doesn't get on your shoes and it doesn't wash away. It's solid.
Okay.
So anyway, we've spent a lot of money and put this down, and he's got grass, and so his gardeners come and they overwater his grass, and it's like a river onto our decomposed granite, and it discolored it, and it got it all over the flagstones. And I just called him and I go, hey man, your gardeners are, fucking up my shit.
See, now I think the clippings are his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the gardener.
I think the clippings are his. I think he's just smart enough not to put them in your can on the day of the gardener.
Right.
Yeah, because this is a war. This is a battle here.
This is a battle.
Yeah. And what was his response to that? He didn't take responsibility?
No, he was great. And I have said the gardener's an ongoing thing. About 6 months ago, I said, hey man, your gardeners have these leaf blowers, and I swear to God, he's got like a V8 Chevy engine on his back. It's so fucking loud, and it's a little tiny yard. I go, he blows it for like 25 minutes. I go, can you possibly switch to like no sweat. Next week, fucking electric blowers. No, this guy's great.
Wow. Okay.
So and the watering stopped, and years ago, we have a fence between our yard, and it's got a little gap underneath it. And his guys would come and they would blow his yard, but they would blow everything under. And my yard, when they came, would be covered in leaves, cigarette butts. And I yelled at the gardeners, and they wouldn't listen to me. And they kept doing it week after week, and I'd yell at them. And then one week I got a hose out with a spray gun on it, and I fucking hosed this dude down, head to toe. Leaned over the fence, and I fucking hosed him down.
What happened?
Nothing.
Wow, you you rolling the dice. You hosing down a grown man.
Yeah.
That does manual labor for a living.
I know.
Wow.
I know. Yeah.
Was you ready for that smoke if it went there?
Hey, there was a fence between us. My gate's locked. I was a sniper. I was a fucking sniper.
You can climb a fence. You can jump a fence. Because that's a reason to jump a fence to whoop somebody's ass.
Yeah. He would have beat my ass for sure. But I don't think. When I get angry, that's how I act, and I don't think.
Is that a New Yorker thing as well?
I think it's an Irish thing, Bronx Irish, just kind of like speak your mind, stand up for yourself.
I think it's Irish all over the world. I don't think it's just Bronx.
I think so. We got fucked with for a long time. I just listened to your most recent podcast, and I liked your take on the British because, that's how I feel. Like, there's all kinds of racism going on in the world, but not enough of it is directed towards the British.
It really isn't. Yeah, for sure.
They fucked with us for 800 years.
They fucked with the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just gave it up so they could have universal health care. They just gave up.
Exactly.
They just left everyone to fucking to squalor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they pulled out of India, and India is the poorest country in the world since they pulled out because they took away their whole sense of identity.
Yeah, and they made these they arbitrarily divided up these areas to purposely cause like divisions,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe Pakistan used to be a part of India. And just like the Middle East, and they just were like, we're gonna draw the line here and the line here and the line here.
This was after the World Wars,
right?
Yeah,
they were like, we're giving up. We're not taking care of the shit. Keep our face on the money, and everyone, as long as you all agree to play cricket.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Keep buying our tea, keep playing cricket, and put the Queen on your dollar bill, and we're good.
The problem is there's a bunch of bootlickers in every country that's like, the Queen. So I've learned this recently. the concept of like the power coming from the people. Yeah. That didn't exist until recently.
Right.
Yeah, like some I'm butchering this. I think it was one of the Charleses, one of the King Charleses. He started all these fucking wars, and he wouldn't give up, and then he ended up like raising taxes to the point where it was just unacceptable, and then it started almost a civil war, and they ended up arresting him, and then they put him on trial, and it was this trial was like probably one of the most important trials in history.
Wait, so the people arrested the king?
The people arrested the king
in England.
In England.
No shit.
Yeah, and they put him on trial.
Wow.
But in the trial, his whole defense was by what authority are you charging me? Because and you got to keep in mind, like right now it seems obvious, but back then no one had ever even considered, because back then it was like you're king because God says you're king, and so the power comes from God to you.
Divine right.
Right, divine right. And so the concept that like the king's power comes from the people, that didn't exist.
Right.
So so every time they were sitting all day and had this trial, and he would come up and just be like, by what authority are you charging me? Because treason is going against the king. I'm the king. So how can this be treason?
Yep.
And so someone had to think of this. And my whole point is, half of the motherfuckers was still on the king's side. Even after all this shit. Even after he taxed them to death and killed so many of them. They went through all this trouble to arrest this motherfucker, and there was still people that was like, I kind of just like having a king.
Yeah. Yeah,
because the whole idea that like power comes from the people was just non-existent. I forget what the fucking name of the term is. Yeah. But it's people like that all over the world. It's like
popular rule?
No,
well, it's basically
is it popular sovereignty?
Maybe, but it's basically my mom and my mother-in-law both went to the same high school in the Bronx together, which is fucking weird because we only found that after we started dating, and our mothers met, and they were like, "Where'd you go to school?" She's like, "St. Benedict's." She goes, "I went to St. Benedict's." Turns out my mother-in-law was friends with my aunt. But my point is, these kinds of Irish, these first-generation Irish, they're fascinated with the royal family. They sit, when Diana died, they wept, they watched the funeral, all the weddings, they sit by the TV for 12 hours. And I go, what the fuck? What is this reverence you have for these people that literally slaughtered us, took away our language, took away our culture, and, kept us from getting higher? I mean, it was like,
Because you know why?
Why?
Because it's the same problem that a lot of like older black people had with white people, right? Where it's like, even if that's the person that oppressed you, that's still the standard you grew up with as what was better. Yeah. Like they still have everything that's better. So when you go, so it's like, I remember having like a great grandmother was like, no, take me to a white doctor. Take me over there where the white folks go. Yeah, because it's like that's where the better shit is. That's how they grew up. So it's like, even though the royal family is fucking evil, they set the standard for like what is opulent, what is luxury, what is the best of the best. So it's like a lot of people might resent them in one way, but still
defer to them,
but still envy them. Like they still want what they got, so
Yeah.
they see that as the thing to measure up to.
right?
You know?
Yeah.
Because I remember I got in trouble. Not got in trouble, but I got a groan for making a Princess Diana joke. And it's, people still, they still have that like reaction, like, oh no. And then I go, what did Princess Diana do?
Yeah.
What did she do that was so great? I mean, what happened to her was tragic for sure.
Yeah.
But what did she do?
Yeah.
And nobody can answer me.
Well, she did a lot of good work with AIDS at a time when it was very unpopular.
Yeah, but she didn't
to
cure
stand up
it.
for AIDS. No, she didn't.
No. I mean, what she do? She do what she
No,
talked
and
about.
believe me, I'm not a royal defender in any way. It was really, if you think about the 10 most famous people in the 20th century, she was up there, and I don't know why either. I mean,
well, I know why she was so famous. I just don't know why she was so beloved.
yeah,
She was famous because she'd been the first commoner in a long time to get into the royal family.
yeah.
And that's why I don't feel bad for Meghan Markle, because it's like, hey, bitch, did you not see what they did to
I
that
know.
pretty white lady? You think you going to slide in there and have it be smooth sailing?
Yeah, and then she came in and she goes, I had no idea I would be treated this way. What?
Right. What you think that was going to...
Did you miss history class your entire
Yeah,
life?
you out of your mind. You out of
Yeah.
your mind. And you know, and it turns out, I think when it's all said and done, old Harry is going to regret giving up all of that power and privilege. I mean, he was never going to be king or anything like that.
Yeah.
But what an easy life. All you got to do is be places.
Well, you got to be a lot of places, though. I mean,
Yeah, but Greg, everything's done for you.
yeah.
Your clothes are laid out for you. People, they wash your ass for you.
They put the clothes on
They
you.
put the clothes on you.
Yeah.
They drive you. They meet you. All you got to do is just exist.
Yeah.
And then, and if you won't, somebody could disappear. If
Yeah.
you go, the royals, they could, bro, they could fuck somebody's child and then
Dude, who
put
do you
you in
think
jail.
killed Epstein? It's because Prince Andrew got busted on that island. That's who do you think disappeared Epstein? It was the fucking
I
royals,
didn't
man.
realize that was connected.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, he was more powerful than any of those people that got buzzed. Clinton's once a president's out of power in this country, he's got no power. You know? Look at fucking Jimmy Carter. What did he do? You know, after God bless his wife, she just died.
Peanut Farm.
Peanut Farm. He went back to Peanut Farm.
Aren't they both dead?
No, I think he's hanging in. He's on like hospice basically.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, that means dead.
Isn't it funny when you live to 96
Yeah.
and your fucking spouse dies within a couple weeks of you?
Yeah, because hospice just basically means now you're allowed to use drugs until you die.
Yeah, dude, I look forward to that.
Oh my God.
Morphine drip.
You should
just
be able
like
to.
this.
You should be able to apply for early hospice, right? Just like, hey man, I'm done. Like you get the wrong tax return. Hey man, can I just do heroin until I'm done? Until I'm gone?
If I have enough money to pay for a care worker, can I just be on opium for the rest of my life?
Yeah, because now we have assisted suicide in a couple states,
Yeah.
but you got to be terminally ill. Like, they got all these rules about it. You can't
Yeah.
just be over it. You got to
Right,
be
right.
terminally ill.
Yeah.
And man, I had a buddy. I served with him long time ago, and I don't know if other veterans have this, but like it's just weird. It's like the opposite of a parasocial relationship almost.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse, where it's almost like you know what I mean? Like, there's people that know you from your podcast and your comedy and your thing, and they know you just as well as a good friend might,
Right.
but you know nothing about them,
Right.
But then there's people that they're good friends from a long time ago, and so they don't really know you now. Like I was in the Marine Corps, a little over 20 years ago,
Yeah.
but I still know these people, and we were really tight back then. But now it's like, we once a year, twice a year, we get on a group chat and talk shit, but we don't really know each other like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's one of those things. But it's still all love and try to keep the brotherhood going and all this. And this dude calls, he calls us. He says he's got some kind of cancer, and he's done. And he's doing the assisted suicide. He's in Oregon where it's illegal.
Yeah.
And he's terminal, and he's going to do it in a few days. And so it's one of these, it's just this Herculean effort. The network gets to going because somebody called me, and then I called 2 more people. It was like, yo, you got to call him now.
Yeah.
He's going to die tomorrow. Call him now. I'm waking motherfuckers up, And now everyone from our unit is all in, even people that I purposely cut contact with. Now we're all in a group thing.
And they've all said their piece.
But this is on Facebook. We're all in a Facebook group thing, and a group chat, and and everyone, and we're reminiscing, and we're doing all of these things, and everyone's saying all these nice things and telling stories and all of this shit. And then a couple weeks go by, and and before this, so the night I found out, I call him, and I'm in an Uber.
Yeah.
I'm in an Uber on my way to the Comedy Store. I'll never forget. I had this whole conversation that doesn't make my Uber driver look fucking mortified when I got to the end because it didn't make any sense what I was saying. Unless someone's dying, which you wouldn't assume. Anyway. Yeah. A couple weeks go by, and since now everyone's back in fresh contact, so we get to talking, people are throwing funny shit in the chat, add more little pictures from back in the day and all of this, and then this motherfucker pops into the chat. This dude that's supposed to be dead. He was supposed to have died 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
and he pops in the fucking chat. Yeah. And listen, for the sake of privacy, let's just call him Wilson. and like, Wilson, is that you? Is this a family member? It's him.
Wow.
And now at this point, now his ex is pissed at him and spills the beans to everybody else that like it was all bullshit. And,
from the beginning it was bullshit.
Yeah, he was not gonna do it from the beginning. And he told us that it was a different disease than it was because it came from like drinking too much instead of like, because if you get something from alcohol, people don't feel bad for you. So So he told us it was a different disease. He told us it was terminal. He said he was going to kill himself, and he never did any of those things. And he never intended to.
Do you think he was just getting off on hearing how people cared about him?
You know what? It's tough for me because when it comes to like exes and stuff like that, people can embellish and they want revenge and that kind of thing. But I think he wanted to see if people gave a fuck, or I don't know, man. But now amongst my friends that I still do talk to, whenever his name comes up, I go, yeah, may he rest in peace. I'm like, nah, you don't. You're dead to me. Like, you're dead. So you don't get to come back and act
if you
alive.
ever get your own TV show, that's a great pilot episode. That's a really interesting pilot episode. Yeah, because it would show you as the guy that organized, like, rallies all the old friends, brings everybody together, and then you being the first one when you find out it's bullshit to be like, fuck this guy.
Oh, yeah, fuck him. He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, I mean, he still talks to people and stuff like that, but I just act like he's dead. Yeah.
Right. I could see it. I mean, I always say, like, we should like do memorials for people before they die, because what a waste that they didn't get to see how much everybody cared about them.
Yeah, but see, I don't want to start down that road because it's going to turn into what weddings have. Like, women are going to take them over and pervert them into some narcissistic fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a wedding used to be, hey, we don't have the mail service or anything like that, so I'm marrying you in front of the whole town so they know you mine.
Yeah.
Like we having a party in front of everybody so everybody know you my wife.
Yeah.
That's what it was for. Now it's like, oh, you got to spend this percent and it's got to be this and that and all of these rules. Who the fuck, by the way, here's the other, who the fuck tells women the rules? Because they all cost money.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will spend more money. They will spend like a house down payment on a wedding and then be living in an apartment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy to me.
Right.
So,
and then they get remarried and they want another gift. Well, give me back the first gift and then I'll buy you another gift.
Hey, listen, and my friends know this. This is my rule. With the exception of direct family, if I come to your second wedding, I'm not coming to your funeral.
Well, you only get 2 services.
You get 2 ceremonies out of me.
Yeah,
I don't do ceremonies.
that's good.
I'm not coming to no parades. None of that. Like, I'll come, but you get 2 ceremonies. Because I don't like pageantry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't like things that are just for show.
Yeah.
So if you want me to come to something that's just for show, you get 2 of those.
You can get a wedding and a christening. You can get a wedding, and I even put a birthday party in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of your ceremonies.
Yeah, but first of all, what are grown men having birthday parties? That's another thing that's wild. I remember one of the biggest guys that works, it's a bunch of fucking burly motherfuckers
Right.
security here. I remember I walked past, he was like, today's my birthday. And I was like, you're a grown man.
Especially the odd numbers one. Like if you're 40 or 30, all right, man, I'll give you a head nod. I'll sign a card, whatever. But if you're 37, I don't give a fuck.
And also like we barely know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that to me.
Right.
By the way, it's my birthday. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Especially, I think comics have kind of an aversion to people declaring that it's their birthday because we've had so many shows ruined by people who think that means that they're special or whatever.
Yeah. I enjoy when someone yells out, it's his birthday, just because it's funny to look at them and go,
I don't care.
Like, not even say anything. Just look at them and then turn around and continue your act. That always gets a fucking huge laugh. It's even better than shitting on them.
Oh, wow. Okay, I might try that.
Just apathy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, and also it's like, if it was that special to you, you would be somewhere other than here.
Right. You would be, if you had friends that you really enjoyed and that were interesting and funny, why the fuck would you sit quietly in the dark for an hour and a half?
Right.
That's a weird thing to do. Sure. And also, like, don't sing happy birthday in the restaurant because, like, that's time. The average person, both people are working. They got to get a babysitter. They got to drive to the restaurant. They got to valet park. They got to wait for the table. They got to wait for the waiter to tell them the specials. And then you get maybe an hour where you can actually enjoy a conversation. And now you're going to break into that for me to sing for someone I never fucking met? Fuck you.
And you know what? Guess what? God doesn't even care. Do they have a is there such thing? I'm not a Catholic, but is there such thing as a birthday mass? No. Because if you said that to a priest, they would be like, in a priest way of saying fuck off, they'd be like, I'm sorry, my son, the Lord's time is precious. You know what I mean? Some shit. It's like, there's no birthday mass. Get the fuck out of here.
No, the only birthday that the priests care about is when a boy turns 18, because then he's out of the game. He punches out.
Man, are you not allowed? You know what's so funny is a lot of times when I'm in a Catholic area, Boston, when I'm in Boston or anywhere like that, if you bring up the priest fucking, it's almost like, and this is weird because and this is mostly from my friends in Boston, but it's like they will criticize the Red Sox, even though they even if they won a championship like this year, they'll criticize the Red Sox. But if you bring up priest fucking kids, they don't. No one will say fuck. Like no one will say anything like directly at you, but they'll just be like, come on. Like, just let it slide. You know what I mean? It's such a weird. At least that's how I was like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
But what is that about? Is it like? Because here's the thing. Almost every Catholic person I know was either touched by a priest or they know somebody that was.
Yeah, I do.
Right. So it's like it's not like an uncommon thing. And so what I'm saying is it's mad priests out here that have never been publicly accused where it's like 40 boys that came up under them that was touched and they still out there and people just kind of let it slide.
Yeah.
Right. So why would you bring it up, everyone?
Think about it. If any other corporation, the Catholic Church is maybe, I think, the biggest landholder in the world.
Yeah.
And they've got more equity. And yet, if any other corporation had one CEO molest a child, that company would be out of business. Yeah. If a dozen, completely out of business. How about thousands?
Could you imagine if like the GM of Target, the GM of the local Target, was molesting kids, and they just moved him to another Target.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people, and then we found out that it was this thing that just kept happening all over again. And so it's Target general managers all over the country that have fucked kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And I don't get it.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. And
It must be some ancient like extra book or something that like the church doesn't show the regular public. You know what I mean? Like some secret
you
thing.
mean a register of who's done it?
No. I mean like something that justifies it, like some kind of ritual where it's like, this is how you stay pure, but it's not for the commoner's eyes or some shit like that.
Right.
I don't, but because it doesn't make any sense that the Pope wouldn't just lose his shit about it. Like, yo, not only are we not moving this motherfucker, we're gonna chop his fucking head off.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and and then you think about Pope. Who was the Pope that just died before this one? When he was a cardinal. He was Cardinal Richelieu in Germany. That dude oversaw. He was the guy. He was the head of the branch that investigated child molestation, and he was the guy, as a cardinal, that was moving people all over the place. It was on his hands, and then he got elected Pope after that.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Anyway, listen, we get to the part of the show now. Did we do this last time where I ask you a series of quick questions at the end of the podcast? It's called Fastballs with Fitz.
Okay, let's do it. I think we did, maybe.
All right, we'll find out.
That was over Zoom. That was on the pandemic.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this will be better because it's in person. All right, what is the greatest comedy performance you ever had? Is there one that sticks out in your mind where you went where you got off stage and you went, that's as good as I can do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I've had a bunch of those here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say something specifically. It was fresh out the pandemic. It was the first JFL audition that happened right when LA like started letting people gather places. And I remember everybody was there because ain't nobody had been out to do nothing legally anyway, and everybody was there. All the people from all the networks and all of the streaming services and all of the agencies and everybody was there. And I was like, I'm gonna go last.
They all came out to Austin for the showcase?
No, this was in LA.
Oh, this was in LA. Okay, yeah.
It was at the what's that one theater? It's like it's like the artsy theater.
Largo?
No, the other one. Dynasty Typewriter.
Oh yeah, that's a hot little room.
Yeah, and I remember, like, I was so locked in because I knew it was gonna come, and I literally spent the whole pandemic just over and 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 over, just doing it in my head, just talking to myself.
Yeah,
because dude, I can open mic in my head.
You can visualize it.
Yeah, it's like I feel like there's a crowd up there and a stage up there, and I run everything there first. And so I was just doing it over.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I do it over and over and over and over and over and over, and I'm wrong sometimes, but when that was over with, I was like, ain't no more fucking way. Like basically, when there's something on the line, I feel like I do better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of us, I know for myself, I can speak for myself. I have ADHD, and the reason why you take Ritalin is because it spikes your energy. It gets your neurons popping.
Right.
And that's when we engage. People with ADHD, everything runs lower. And that's why we can't engage. And that's why we're drawn to stand-up comedy, because you go on that stage and it's fight or flight, and it raises up your intensity.
I've had it for like 30 years now.
Oh, you have?
They won't give me anything. But my point is, I just read that the reason why kids, especially ones with ADHD, the reason why they can play a fucking video game but they can't do their homework, and man, this opened my eyes about my own behavior, is that they need immediate consequences.
Right.
This is why I can do stand-up, but I can't like I have paperwork that took me 10 minutes to file, but I didn't. It took me 3 weeks to do it, because if the consequences are down the line, like, because we have a problem with self-motivating, so that's why, like, at the last minute, with the sense of urgency, when someone's depending on you, then you can fucking get on the ball,
right?
But when you play video games, you get instant consequences. When you do stand-up, you get instant consequences. But when there's a paper due and it's not going to be graded for 3 weeks, you just don't got it. You just don't got it in
That's
you.
why they give comedians their own deals, and they got to write their own script, and they sit there and they don't write it. They don't write it. They don't write it.
And man, and if I know it frustrates, I know it frustrates people that work for me or whatever. But it's like, hey man, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't be on. I need somebody that's gonna get it started. I need somebody that to keep me on a schedule or something like that. Because if you don't, then I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'm gonna do it at the last minute.
Yeah, and it's even the same for specials. Like, you know your special's coming up, and you got to figure out a set, you got to figure out a wardrobe, you got to figure out camera angles. There's all these things, and you kind of keep pushing it off because you know that when it comes down to it, when you walk on that set, like last night I did my special here, and I had a set that I walked off stage, and I haven't done this in a long time. I fucking jumped up in the air and I screamed. Like that's how well it went. And I got to thank you, by the way, because you did it here first on this stage, and you were very generous. You gave me a lot of good advice about shooting here and we used the same production company, and I felt very prepared. But I didn't do any of the set. I didn't come up with any set ideas. I bought my outfit 3 days before I left LA.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, this is how we are, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? I have a better answer to your question. When I shot my half hour in New York, I have a joke where, basically the joke was about why white people can't say the N-word, right? And it's a whole thing about how like it doesn't make sense, but you do understand that you can't call people certain things, and then I go. You don't call your mother by her first name, right? Even though that's her name, right? And then I go, "What's your mother's name?" And I have an answer for each thing, right?
Uh-huh.
But the sweetest answers, like the sweetest responses I have for the answers, call for specific kind of names, right?
Uh-huh.
And I've probably done that joke 500 times, and I've never gotten all three because I asked the question 3 times before I dropped the punchline. Right?
Yeah.
I go, what's your mama's name? What's your mama's name? What's your mama's name? And when I filmed that special, the last show, the first show, I got each and every one, and to the point where people,
no shit.
Yeah, people ask me if those people were planted.
Yeah,
They were not.
Wow.
I just happened to get them, bang, bang, bang. And I walked up, and sometimes you walk off stage, you're like, the comedy gods have smiled upon me,
That's right. Yeah, because it's a lot of elements. It's a moving target. The audience is a moving target. They change. You're a moving target. Your moods change. Your concentration wavers. A fucking waiter drops a tray. Like, you're up there, and when the whole set goes right, you just realize everything came together. You did, they did.
Yeah. Did you get it on the first one or second one?
First one.
That's the good feeling.
And then the second one, the weirdest thing is like the first show, I've been doing this for 33 fucking years, and I've been walking around for a week just on fucking eggshells, like nervous. I'm like, and then I got up there, and 10 minutes into the set when it's going well, I'm like, what the fuck was I so nervous about?
Right.
And then I walked off stage, and I just was like, and then when it came time for the second show, I had no nervous energy at all, which actually worried me because I was like, these two shows aren't going to match. I'm a different guy going up there for this late show.
Oh, yeah.
So I just did I did the bits I needed to get that I didn't think I completely nailed in the first show. And I did almost the same set, but then I mixed in a bunch of crowd work and a couple different bits that I was thinking about that were kind of on the bubble. But it was a different energy, and
and now you have 3 months to procrastinate on editing it.
Well, that's what I said to Matt Schuler, who's the guy that produced our specials. I said to him, "Look, man, I want to turn this around fast. I want to get this out in March. So, send me the cut, and I'll give you notes." He goes, "You know what? Every comic I work with says the same thing, and none of them do it." He goes, "None of them ever do it."
Because you can't.
Yeah.
You don't. That's not how your brain operates.
Yeah.
And it's and I've learned, and this has completely changed my level of happiness. I've learned to just accept it. It's just who I am. Mm-hmm. It's the price I pay for being good at this, I think, or being, I'm not saying everybody with ADHD can be a comedian, but I just mean my not having a not normally functioning brain is the cost of whatever the fuck I got going on.
No, I read a book about ADHD because my daughter has it as well, and we got to stop looking at it like it's a negative thing or it's a deficit. They call it attention deficit. Well, yeah. What about the fact that I can hyperfocus more than anybody? You give me like if I'm writing a script and I'm in the groove, you can't pull me away from that fucking laptop.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked. And when I'm on stage, I'm locked. And there's a lot of things we can do that other people can't do. There's like a lot of benefits to ADHD.
Yeah. I heard a theory that like it used to be very beneficiary like in the hunter-gatherer times because that's the person you wanted on point to like notice everything.
Right.
Because that's the thing. And here's the other thing I can't control is like I don't necessarily remember, like I don't have any control over what information gets soaked up. Like because I'll forget like some important number that I need to remember, and then but then I'll remember that that somebody dropped the tray out there last Tuesday. And it doesn't make any sense why that is something that stuck around. But I just don't.
I'll forget my agent's assistant's name for 2 years, and then I have yet in 10 years I have not forgotten my room number when I'm on the road at my hotel.
Right.
I always remember my room number.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. What I mean. It's so dumb.
Right.
It's so dumb. But it's just what it is, man. And I've stopped beating myself up about it. I've stopped having feelings about my feelings. That's my struggle now.
Interesting.
Because you put a layer. It's like, you're nervous, right? Because you're about to go up, and then, but now you're pissed at yourself because you told yourself you would stop being nervous. Well, now you have to deal with the anger before you can deal with the nervousness. Because you having feelings about your feelings.
Right.
And it's like, so I'm trying to stop doing that. I'm like, I made a mistake and now I'm frustrated with myself because I made a mistake that I always make, right? And now I'm frustrated for being frustrated because I promised myself I would stop being frustrated. And so you get into this habit of putting all these layers of bullshit on top of the actual thing that you need to process. You know what I mean?
I've always said anger's not an emotion. It's something that sits on top of an emotion. You get angry because you're frustrated. You get angry because you're hurt.
Yeah.
You get angry because you're betrayed. Yeah. But you got to sit with the betrayal.
Yeah, anger's like it's like yelling. Right? It's just the thing that everything turns into when you haven't really parsed it out. You know, sometimes you just because you don't have the actual words because you haven't done the actual thinking.
Yeah,
right. So I feel like anger is like that. It's like anger is to emotions, what yelling is to trying to express yourself.
Right.
It just turns into anger because you don't have the
presence.
Right. You haven't processed it. You're not in the moment. Whatever the fuck all the solutions are.
Yeah.
But
it's also like noticing, like I've been meditating for a lot of years, and the thing about meditation is you sit and it's the same thing. You don't get mad at the fact that you're not getting into your mantra. You notice. You go, oh, I'm thinking about my special tomorrow night. And instead of like getting angry about it, you just go, I'm a fly on the wall, seeing that I'm thinking about that. And then it just loses all its energy and it shrinks down. And it doesn't go away. But there's a thing called, dialectical behavioral therapy, which means I'm nervous and I'm going to go on stage and do a good job. It's not but. You always say and. Two things can coexist. Dialectical. Two things can happen at the same time. They may seem to contradict each other, and they can both be true. I can't stand Randy. And I can learn a lot from Randy.
You want to know the most ADHD thing ever?
What?
Is we never did the rapid.
Oh.
we started with one question and just fucking kept going.
All right, well then that's the way to end that.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, Brian Simpson, he's got dates coming up. He will be in the House of Comedy in Westminster, Canada on December 29th through New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fucking cold New Year's Eve for you, brother.
And I'll be in San Diego at the end of January.
The mic drop January 26th to 28th.
I'll be at the DC Improv in March.
February 29th through March 2nd.
Okay.
And then Levity Live in West Nyack, March 8th through the 10th. If you go to briansimpson.com, You can get links for tickets, and also he's got a great podcast that I just listened to. It's called BS with Brian Simpson, and it's great, man. It's just you fucking chilling. Who's your sidekick on that?
His name's Rob Herbert.
Yeah, you guys are great together.
Yeah.
You drive it, and he's just there, kind of supporting you, and
right, and then we disagree just enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Rob's an anarchist or something.
That's a good sidekick, an anarchist sidekick.
Yeah, he's a liberal anarchist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like you're a Texas liberal.
Me?
You came out here a liberal, but I can see you're starting to.
No, see, what I realized is I've always been a Texas liberal.
Yeah.
I just came out here and realized, oh, okay, I see. Yeah, because I want a gun. I have a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to have a gun.
Well, you're a military guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people, but that's about it. That's about where. What else makes you Texas liberal?
Well, I think it's a libertarian kind of thing, like leave people alone to do their own thing. Whereas liberals, that's what the conservatives stand by, is like we're about freedom. And so I think that letting people have guns, letting people fucking not have big government, like that's what I think of as like a Texas thing. Right. But you can be a liberal, which means you don't give a fuck if someone's gay or you don't.
Right. They're like, leave people alone unless they're gay or want an abortion.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, man. Thanks so much for doing this.
All right, man. No problem. Peace.
See ya. Peace.